Hello everyone, welcome to this video, which is going to be looking at total quality management, or TQM as we're going to refer to it from now on. Is an approach to quality. It's not a particular or specific quality system, but rather a approach to understanding quality within an organization, and an attempt to have a comprehensive, holistic way of improving quality within any given organization. It became particularly dominant around the 80s and 90s, but it's still an important paradigm, is an important way of thinking about quality. So we have the basic aim of TQM is an organization-wide effort to produce high-quality goods at competitive cost. So that's not just restricting quality as the responsibility of just the operations function, but rather bringing in product and service design, marketing, other support functions. So a real organization-wide understanding of quality, that everyone is involved in producing high quality output. I said it's a paradigm because you will find lots of different types of TQM implementation. The original aim focused on goods because it did come to prominence through Japanese manufacturing in the 70s and 80s, where Japanese firms such as Toyota were able to produce really high quality goods at very, very competitive prices, particularly compared to American firms at the time such as GM or Ford. But today we can see TQM implementations aimed at improving quality in banks, in service processes, in retail, pretty much any industry or sector you can think of. You will find that there are some recent developments in approaches to quality which are more specific to particular fields. Some focus particularly on manufacturing, some focus on quality processes. So we wouldn't want to think that we've solved quality as a field. There's lots and lots of developments in quality, but as a baseline, it's really important to understand TQM and how TQM has changed quality from being the responsibility of particular quality officers to being something which the entire organization engages in. So if we just take a quick look at the quality principle, TQM principles, and there's a few here that I want to pull out and just briefly discuss. So one would be total quality, so total employee involvement, and this is a very real and central focus of TQM. So not just those who are directly involved in producing output, but also those involved in support functions or other areas of the organization must be understanding and aware of the role that they play in contributing towards output, and therefore the responsibility they have in ensuring quality. So this can be as simple as the role of quality involved in HR. So you may say HR primarily is there to hire and fire and train people, but if HR have a holistic understanding of quality, if they understand that quality is a organization-wide effort to produce particular outputs, then this should be built into their work when it comes to training, for example, built into their work when it comes to hiring people. So even though it may seem that HR have very little involvement in actually producing the output, they do have responsibility for contributing towards those quality outcomes. And that would go the same when it comes to, for example, janitorial staff involved in cleaning production facilities. And again, you may think, well, the cleaners and the janitors are not involved in producing the actual goods which come out of that facility. They're responsible for just cleaning the facility, let's say, during the night hours when the manufacturing has been shut down. But a facility which has been properly cleaned will actually help contribute towards high quality output, ensures a minimum of disruption to the actual production itself, as well as helping organize and order the actual rest of the production process. So janitors and cleaning staff would very much be involved in quality as well. This would lead on to a necessary principle as well of communication. If we're going to have total employee involvement, then we need to have real communication between all levels of the organization when it comes to quality issues. And we can see this in a number of different ways. So there is a well-known principle within many TQM implementations that anybody and everybody within the organization has the ability to stop production if they suspect there are quality problems. So production lines, particularly mass manufacturing production lines, are expensive to stop. So if you stop the production line, that means production along the entire line, from the start to the finish of the manufacturing process, has stopped, and no one can continue work on their particular areas. So it is a big deal to stop the production line. And previously, it would have been a decision taken by someone relatively senior. But the understanding that TQM brings, that quality issues are both the responsibility of the entire organization, and also people in different positions are able to see quality issues at different levels. So someone who's relatively junior, cleaning staff, a janitor, or someone who's operating machinery on the factory floor may be able to see a quality issue arising very early on, so empowering them to stop the production line, bring the issue to light, and then resolve the issue can actually minimize delay, minimize disruption, and also nip quality issues in the bud, and prevent external failure, or also prevent internal failure as well, potentially at the inspection point. So communication is very much a key part of that. There are a number of other tools that are commonly used as well to try and improve communication in terms of TQM, such as quality circles, which bring together employees from all levels of the organization, so from the most junior ranks on the factory floor, so to speak, up to senior executive level, together in a single room to discuss quality problems from different perspectives, again in order to gain a holistic, comprehensive understanding of what affects quality levels and how to produce the highest possible quality output. So this type of communication and total employee involvement really feeds into two more major principles, one being fact-based decision making. Now, what we're not doing in TQM is allowing someone with an instinctive understanding of quality to determine quality processes and quality procedures, but rather we seek to get information and data from all levels of the organization, from tracking product output, from questionnaires if we're dealing with service and serve qual, to bring this information together and to rely upon factual information when it comes to making key quality decisions. And secondly, to adopt a strategic and systematic approach to quality, that we're reworking our processes across the organization to ensure quality. So this means quality is baked into, or an understanding of quality is baked into our product service design processes, as well as our operations processes, our logistics processes, our marketing processes. It really is a clear-headed, systematic approach to embedding quality within all of these individual functions and processes within the organization. And then there are two principles here that we're going to leave for another video, the quality improvement video, where we discuss continual improvement. So one of the major drivers of TQM as an implementation is that quality is not a destination but a journey. So quality is always shifting because your trends and requirements amongst your customer base will shift over time. But also the goal of quality improvement is to have a continuous focus on quality. So continual improvement, continual data collection and information gathering, rather than saying, well, we've fixed our systems and quality is there now, everything is fine. It is a continuous process. That does tie in with the process orientation within TQM as well, where we examine our unit for quality improvement is usually the process rather than just the operation of the supply chain. We are examining individual processes and identifying ways to improve quality output or improve quality if they feed into the quality of another process or a quality of a specific component or output. So there is lots more to consider when it comes to TQM. It's like I said, a major paradigm within quality, but we are going to move on and just take a look at how TQM fits in with our integration of operations and strategy for the organization overall. So we look at the ways operations can contribute to strategy, to the organization's strategy as a whole, and look at the ways that quality management within operations in particular can contribute. So at a basic level, we have inspections. So when we are producing output, whether it's in the form of products or services, we can inspect those particular items of output either systematically or through ad hoc inspections. And what we can achieve through this will result in error detection and rectifying errors, so correcting errors. And this prevents products and services from leaving our organization and going to the customer which are out of specification, i.e. they are in some way defective. So if you're producing cans and then you just have an inspection point before the cans actually get loaded into trucks and delivered to your customers, and that prevents cans which are out of specification, they're the wrong size, they've been crushed, they're not properly presented, or whatever defect they contain, you're prevented that from reaching your customers. Now, that doesn't save us a huge amount of money. We will count this as part of our internal failure cost. So we've still produced the cans and we can't sell them. So maybe we can put them into a reverse logistics chain or a reverse operations chain and try and recycle the material. But we've still spent money on producing those cans which can't be sold. So they do cost money. It is an internal failure cost, but what we've saved is external failure cost. So we've saved on the expense of shipping those to a customer, which is part of external failure cost, but we've also saved on reputational cost. So when we ship those items that are defective to a customer, which are substandard or poor quality items, we would have a reputational hit as a vendor who has provided substandard or defective products to a customer. So it's important in minimizing our external failure costs, and that certainly is a big contribution, but it doesn't minimize any internal failure costs. We're still spending money in this case on producing things that we're not using. We can move forward and actually move into quality control, which incorporates elements of inspections, but here instead of just inspecting items, we're collecting data, collecting information, analyzing the processes which have produced these defective goods, using statistics in a systematic manner, as well as applying external quality standards to try and solve some of the root causes of quality problems. So here, if we go back to our example of a can delivery service or can manufacturing, if we notice that particular cans at a certain point in the production cycle will be damaged at a much higher rate than at other times, that helps indicate through the use of statistical information and process analysis where the root cause of those defects could be. So here we're trying to use our approach to quality and quality processes to not just prevent external failure, but to try and reduce our internal failure costs as well. We can move on from quality control to introducing elements of quality assurance, which increases the organizational involvement in quality processes. So with quality assurance, we're not just being reactive, we're not just looking at things which have gone wrong, but we're actually being proactive and bringing in quality planning and developing quality systems to ensure high quality output. So this is a proactive approach to quality. Quality assurance involves things like audits, quality involvement from support systems, and quality planning prior to output commencing, prior to production processes commencing. So this brings in the responsibility for quality from those who are not necessarily directly involved in quality inspection or quality control roles. So even if you're not directly involved in activities which are designed to prevent external failure, or trying to hunt down causes of quality problems on processes which are already running, and you still now begin to have responsibility for ensuring the quality levels of future output. And that's really what would distinguish quality assurance activities from just quality control activities. TQM again builds on this. So all of these, from inspections to QC to QA and now to TQM, everything would build on that which has come before it. But with TQM, what we're doing now is not just making the organization as a whole responsible for quality, but we're also making quality a central and strategic part of the organization's functioning. So understanding that quality is not just there to ensure that our products don't contain a number of obvious defects, but actually can be a key competitive advantage, a competitive driver. So the same way Toyota used the quality of their output to really drive their position in the marketplace, to increase market share, increase mind share, and really is one of the underpinnings of Toyota's success in the 80s and 90s. This is born from an understanding that the quality of their output is really one of the key competitive advantages that they were able to leverage. So that can be done through, again, staff empowerment, so total employee involvement in quality, not just from within the organization, but also involving elements of the supply chain, so customers and suppliers. So if you're not the last link in the supply chain, if you're not actually directly dealing with the consumer, you have a reliance upon your customers to take the product down to the end consumer. So involving them in ensuring high quality delivery of your product or service is absolutely key. If you have fantastic quality processes, but your suppliers, i.e. if you're a manufacturer, but your retailers have different quality processes and a different quality approach, then the consumer is not going to receive a high quality experience. So working with your customers becomes key, as well as working with your suppliers to ensure that your inputs have a similar level of quality as your internal systems. So this makes quality strategic. So now we're tying in the operations function, and particularly our quality levels, into the overall strategy of the organization, becoming an important competitive advantage for the organization within the marketplace.